Hello and welcome to this video where I cover patch 12.12 and how it affects the League of Legends ecosystem in the four major regions. The way we do this, I do this video, and I've been doing these videos throughout the season for every patch. I look at what's buffed and nerfed from a complete black and white perspective for this video. Obviously, technically, all buffs and nerfs are created equally. Some don't even affect pro play, but it's still nice to look at and say, well, X player played this champion a few years ago quite a bit. Now all of a sudden it's buffed again for the first time. Maybe this player pulls it out. Just stuff to kind of think about, theory craft. It's not necessarily going to be an indicator of what's going to happen. I'm not predicting what's going to happen, but nevertheless, it's interesting to go over. So, with the LCK, the team that was most buffed by this patch was Damwon Kia. Historically, Canyons played J4 and Ivern. Showmaker is the only guy to play Katarina in the last few years. Only a one-off, but the reason why it's in there is because he's the only guy to do it. Heimerdinger was played in bot by Duckdom in the past. Seraphine, Soraka, and Yumi have all been played by Damwon players as well. So these champions getting buffed, all of a sudden this team's happy about this, whether they're already picking them this split or they've picked them in the past. I will say all the champions that were adjusted, I said were buffed. That's another thing. So if you think that those champions were nerfed, so be it. DRX, J4, a pick by Pioshik in the past. Seraphine has been a pick by Beryl. And Heimerdinger. Heimerdinger times 2. Both Deft and Beryl have picked Heimerdinger in the past. That makes Heimer a pick for them if they want to do it, a flex nonetheless. Will it happen? I doubt it, but it is fun to think about. That's what this video is about. KT, J4, Yumi, and Yorick. Yes, Rascal has played Yorick in the past, and Yorick getting buffed, who knows what'll happen. We've seen some Nasus in the LPL. I wouldn't rule out anything. We've seen some crazy stuff the last couple weeks. I know Dr. Mundo with Senna is apparently decent, but how often do you see it? We've been seeing Singed, which we'll get to in this video. Anything's possible, right? So those are the teams that right now I feel were buffed by the patch in the LCK. Nobody was overly nerfed, so there's that. Now, two other teams that were quite affected by the patch, but below this purple line are teams that are in a area where we really don't know how this is gonna. I don't know how this is gonna pan out. It's kind of a middle ground here. It's one champion one way or the other. Because not all buffs and nerfs are created equally, we don't know how this patch may affect this team and their team comps. So GenG, they like this J4, Seraphine, and Yumi buffs, but they don't like the Fiora, Singed, or Zeri nerfs. Singed being Lahenz's pick last week, or overall the split, I think 3 times, enough to get it nerfed. I don't know if the Singed nerfs are going to hurt it bad enough that he cannot play it anymore, but it is something to think about. And HLE are happy to see J4 and Yumi buffed, but do not like the Zeri nerf. And people are going to say, oh, well, everybody would play Zeri if it was up. Yes, it's true. The teams that are listed here are the teams that were able to pick the champion often. Whether if it was a champion that was nerfed, I look at whether a player had played that champion this year, or this split or in spring. If it's a champion that's buffed, we look at the last couple years to see, okay, well, this champion hasn't been meta in forever. Who played it back then that's still playing now? So HLE affected in 3 different ways by this patch. LEC, XL is the only team that really had quite a bit going on, one way or the other, in a significant way. They like the J4 and Blitzcrank buffs. Mickey has played Blitz in the past quite a bit, and Marcoon likes the J4 buff. Now Rogue, J4 and Blitz, however, they have leaned on the Lucian in the past quite a bit, both comp and Larson have played the Lucian, so it being nerfed is not good for them. That is a flex they lose out on. Does Lucian Nami come out of the, champion pools? Who knows? Mad Lions, Ivern, and Seraphine. Elyoya has been one of two guys to play Ivern in the past, to a degree worth mentioning on here. And Seraphine has been played by Niski in the past, I believe, 3 times. And then we look at Zeri being nerfed for Unforgiven. LCS, Immortals. Immortals, only one champion's listed here. Seraphine. Both PoE and Ignar have played Seraphine in the past. Does that give Immortals an opportunity to pick Seraphine more? I believe so, especially with Seraphine Senna being a thing. I'm surprised that they haven't leaned into it yet, given that Immortals stink. 100 Thieves. This is a team that is not happy about this. There's a couple teams in the LCS and LPL that are not happy about this patch. I mean, I haven't talked to them or anything, obviously, but I mean, from an outside perspective, this patch hurts them more than it helps them. They like to play the Lucian, the Zeri, the Viego. A lot of teams play the Viego, but some play it more than others compared to other champions in their champion pools. So they don't like Lucian, Zeri, Viego nerfs. However, they like the J4 buff. EG, same situation. EG likes to play the Lucian in mid. In the past, in spring, JoJo played it a couple times. That might be out of the wheelhouse now. Zeri, Viego might drop down in Prio. J4 is a plus. C9, quite a few champions listed here. Blabber has played J4 in the past. He's happy about that. And we're looking at Jensen, who's played both Annie and Heimer in the past. Those sorts of things are interesting. Do I expect to see an Annie? No, but we saw some in spring. We saw an Annie top and Annie mid. So theoretically, Annie could be played. They do not like the Viego or Zeri nerfs, two champions they leaned on in spring that are being nerfed. TL, J4, and Blitzcrank. Blitz being played by Core, obviously. Maybe he pulls out the Blitz now. I do recall a couple years back, I feel like, I don't know if it was Double Lift who might have said it on stream. Somebody said it on stream, one of the 80 carries, how Blitz was good into, I thought it was Senna TK. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. Thought it was the fact that you could really just shove the lane down their throat. If you did that, maybe I misheard it. But Lucian and Zeri are nerfed. Lucian was picked by Bwipo quite a bit, either last year or this year, and Zeri obviously being a pick for Hans. In the LPL, we have FPX. FPX are not happy with the Fiora nerf. Zhao Laohu has been picking Fiora quite a bit. Lucian and Zeri also nerfed. But Summit, who is the backup to Zhao Laohu, or maybe the starter, I mean, it's only a matter of time. FPX are going off the rails. Summit played a lot of Yorick over the last couple years, when it was meta last. So will he pull the Yorick out? Who knows? LNG, Fiora and Zeri both nerfed. Ale has played Fiora quite a bit this split, enough to, or even in spring, enough to be noted. And Light likes to play Zeri. Now, two teams that mixed reviews. Thunder Talk Gaming. Southwind likes to play Blitz from time to time, as well as Yuumi. Everybody likes to play Yuumi. And Thunder Talk do not like the fact that Fiora might be out of Zhao Zhang's repertoire. Lucian might not be played, as well as Viego. Viego being one of Bechuan's most played champions, and Bechuan is what makes TT go right now. Ultra Prime, Zoom, I believe, has played more Yorick than anybody else over the last few years. When it was last in the meta, he played it quite a bit. Not many people were around then that are still around now. So Zoom likes the Yorick buff. Cryan has played Annie. I believe he might have played Annie this past year. J4, also a thing for Hacker. We do not like the Lucian or Zeri nerfs, though. Once again, a lot of teams don't like the Lucian Zeri nerfs. But nevertheless, that's kind of how the patch looks, at least how I see it maybe affecting the 4 major regions, which teams are most thrown off by it when it comes to team compositions and champion pools, then again, we could see all of these champions still in these players' champion pools, because not all buffs and nerfs are the same. If they don't think that these nerfs are significant enough, then they're not going to play the I mean, they're going to continue to play the champion, and vice versa with buffs. If the buffs are too small, why would they even bother playing them? So it's just something to think about and interesting to consider. So comment down below with your opinions. Thank you for watching the video. Like it if you enjoy this sort of content. Subscribe to the channel. I do daily League of Legends content, and thank you for watching.